Welcome.
Welcome to church.
Welcome to church.
Welcome to HCCNJ Live, House of Stars.
Place of refuge.
My name is Moses.
I'm Tariba.
And we are the Check One. Lovely.
Great panel.
Great panel. I'm grateful.
Excellent panel. Very good advice. I'm applying it immediately. So
I think it was a good panel.
Yes. Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to everybody joining us. Today, where they're watching from, right?
Yes.
Let us know where you're watching from. Share, like on Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Yes. Follow us. Yes.
Follow us. Yes. And this is Father's Day. So happy Father's Day.
Yes.
Happy Father's Day.
Yes.
What else? What else we got?
So women, we have to represent. We have to take care of. We have to take our husbands out, our brothers, our fathers, our father figures. Mm-hmm. We have to appreciate them and honor them. So.
Lovely.
Yes.
All right.
And I'll do the same today.
That's please, I'm waiting. I need to wear the crown.
So I really don't. I want to make sure we have all the time, because we have been waiting for this moment for months to be able to interview this very special person
of a young man.
Who's dear to our heart.
Extremely. Yes.
Who's very dear to our heart. Who we love, we care for, and we watched him grow into a phenomenal person, a person that we knew he would grow into, and even more. Like we expect even more. So, so we know, but we want to just give him the opportunity. And the reason why we're having him is because we have Kingdom Culture that's coming up for the young adults, and I believe it's from the ages of 18 to 35. He's going to be one of the panelists. So we just wanted you to know what you're in store for, what you or your siblings, your children are in store for, and by just inviting him to just share with us.
That's right. Please, yes.
Okay, so please welcome.
Yes, welcome our own.
Yes.
Bayo Kusaya. Welcome,
Bayo.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for having me. Happy
Of course.
Sunday. Happy Father's Day.
Thank you, sir. They never made us feel old. They're like, we watch him grow. Like, yes, I am proud.
I really appreciate that.
Well, we're very proud of you.
Amazing young man, sir.
Very.
Yes.
Yes.
So, glad. Yes. All right. What do we got for him?
So, what I wanted to ask, in honor of Father's Day, what were three lessons that you learned from your father that you know it has helped you become the man you are?
Yes, that's such a great question. Well, to start, my dad passed away a couple years ago.
Sorry.
It was a hard thing to go through, but it was great to see all the people that rallied around us and came out, and it made his life feel so much more special because I could see all the people that he also impacted.
That's right.
Yes.
So 3 things that my father taught me, and I learned just by looking at his example.
Yeah.
The first one is kindness.
Yes.
Right. My dad was one of the kindest people I've ever met.
That's very true.
And if you know my mom, right, my mom can be, very motivated.
Yes.
Yes.
So he was a balance to her. So
I'm not looking.
People would approach him. He was the more approachable one. And he dealt with everyone with kindness, even though he didn't have to. The second thing my dad taught me is no matter what you're doing, you should try to be the best at it.
That's good.
It doesn't matter what level you're at in life. If you're, entry level, if you're a cleaner, if you're a manager, you have to be the best in that position that you can possibly be. And he drilled that to me right from when I entered school.
Good.
So I was able to always want to bring back, A pluses. And my mom would joke. She said, "Oh, this is only a 100. Where's the 105?"
That was fun. I like that.
I like that.
And the third thing he taught us is don't take yourself too seriously.
That's good.
My dad was very jovial. Yes. He was a very fun person to be around. He had a very nice sense of humor.
Good.
So he passed that energy to us.
No, that's
amazing.
That's amazing. Thank you for sharing that.
I like this.
Yes. So another thing, you wrote a book. So let's talk about this. Let's show the book.
Yes, Life Lessons Volume 1. 47 tips to transcend your education, right? So, right, that's it, right? 47 tips to transcend your education by your Kusanya. That's right. I'm trying to do it without putting in your face. I'm trying. All right, good. 47 tips to transcend your education. Okay. So what are the tips you have?
So I wanted to ask, it's like, what inspired you to write the book? And then, but I want to also highlight lesson 13. Like when I read that, I was like, that's good. Imagine your best self. Imagine who your best self could be, and limit your exposure to influences that can keep you from becoming him or her. So,
Yeah.
I put it into one because I really want to just give you time to elaborate.
Yeah.
Thank you. So what inspired me to write the book? I wrote the book while I was going through Princeton University from 2016 to 2020.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I started studying computer engineering. I ended up switching to philosophy and doing an entrepreneurship minor.
Okay.
So through that transition, I started opening myself up to more experiences. I wanted to work with startup companies, and I wanted to network with a lot of people and really take myself out of my comfort zone.
Good.
That's good.
So that put me in a position to have and meet so many interesting people, and I was taking tidbits from them, like, okay, what made you so successful?
Okay.
What made you so impactful for your generation? One of those people was a man named Ray Dalio.
Okay.
Right? He started a fund called Bridgewater Associates, and he wrote a book called Principles, and he wrote down all the principles he was learning throughout his career.
Wow.
And he advised young people to do the same. Write down what you're learning so that you can look back at it and you don't have to make that same mistake again.
That's a good
That
one.
is good.
That is amazing.
So I started writing down everything I was learning as I was going through this unique, unusual, but very grateful experience through my undergrad years.
But I like how you knew that, okay, computer science isn't for me. And
Right.
you pivoted.
early,
And
yeah.
you're like, you stopped early. Like, you stopped. You didn't just pursue it and then finish and just get a job
C++.
and, yeah. And you
it
hate
makes
it.
a lot of sense now. Right? Now that
Yeah.
you know me. And
Yes.
what I ended up doing aligned very well with my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
But at the time, I felt that I had to go into this path because it was the only way to get a job and it was the only way to work in the tech industry where I wanted to end up. But it's not the only way.
It's true.
The only way.
So that goes back to lesson 13. You have to have a vision for who you
Yes.
want to be one day, right? I could see myself talking in front of audiences. I could see myself sharing not just perspective about my career, but perspective about different walks of life, perspective
Yes.
about God.
Yes.
So I wanted to start having the experiences that would align with that vision. And to do that, I had to cut certain things out of my life, right?
Like what?
Like what? Tell me.
I had to stop playing around, and I had to take myself more seriously and take my my work more seriously. So, from everywhere, I cut certain foods out of my diet. I started exercising more. I cut certain content out of my diet as well. I
Which is
started
important.
being very careful about what I was watching and taking in. Because your thoughts become who what you take in and what you is part of your daily diet.
Yes.
From your food, what you see, what you hear.
Yes.
Starts to create who you become.
Yes.
So I stopped following people, for example, that weren't the examples that I wanted to be like, and I started following new people. Motivational speakers, fitness people, artists, tech entrepreneurs, and over time, by having those insights be part of my daily diet,
Yes.
and even my friend group, right? I wanted to surround myself with people who were already more successful than I am, who could teach me things that I couldn't learn on my own.
Yes.
So I started learning from their experiences and absorbing. and getting closer and closer and more aligned with who I wanted to become.
That's good.
That's great.
That's like you just unfriend people.
So I wanted to ask, because that takes a certain mindset.
Yes.
Right? How did you develop your mindset?
You know, I think it comes from being the youngest.
Okay.
Right. I was the youngest of 3 siblings. I have an older brother and an older sister. They're 4 and 6 years older than me. And I could see from their experiences going ahead of me. Their friends as well. I was always the youngest person around older people.
Yeah.
And I was very observant.
Yes.
And it's great to be the youngest because you know you could see what everyone's done.
Yes.
And you can pick and choose, you know, oh, I want to do this, I don't want to do that.
Yeah.
Maybe a little more of this.
Yeah.
And I took that same, like, oh, I'm the youngest in the room, and I applied it to everywhere I would go. You know, I was the youngest in the room at conferences. I was the youngest in the room at meetings. I was like the fly on the wall, and I was just absorbing.
That's right.
That's
you know,
good.
everyone's lessons and everyone's character, and taking what I wanted to be.
That's good.
That's amazing. Now let's talk about you talk about 13 already. Right?
Yes.
Now lesson 9. It says you don't need to chase the bag. Tell me about this.
You know, chase the bag is, you know, it's a phrase that is very prevalent among my generation, especially young people. Everyone wants to make money, and you know, money doesn't have to be a bad thing. You know, they say it's the love of money that's the root of all evil.
That's
money
right.
is just a tool,
Yes, it is.
right? It's energy, and how you apply it is up to you,
Yes.
right? But I realized that if you chase money, it gets further and further away from you.
That's so true.
Proverbs says it. Yes.
And you know, even a small example, right? You know, I work in the tech industry. If you're fundraising for something and you seem desperate, you seem like, you know, you need it, right? You can't live without it. Right? People start to shy away from you.
Yes.
It's true.
You know, that people want to, they say to you know, to who already has a lot, more is given.
Yes.
Right? More is added onto you. So if people see that you're doing well, if people see that you're purpose driven, right? Like you're on a mission.
Yes.
And,
Boy, don't you,
and no one can stop you.
that's
Yes.
right.
You know, people want to invest in that.
Yes.
So I learned, like, don't go chasing the money, chase purpose,
Yes.
and everything else will be added onto you.
That's excellent. I agree with that 100%.
Don't chase the bag.
Don't chase the bag.
Don't chase. Let the bag chase you.
Okay. So I wanted to ask, it seems like you've done a lot of inner work.
Yes.
And that inner work is not easy. It takes a lot of discipline. It takes grit. So I want to ask this question. When you were looking, I met your girlfriend. She's beautiful. She works in the children's department of church. And she's amazing. But you had to look for her. What were some of the qualities that you were looking for in a person that you wanted to date? And here's the reason why I asked that question. We're living in a society now where they think that if you have certain assets, that will get you the guy. If I have money, if I have certain body parts, if I make my face look like this, if I make my skin lighter or whatever, like that would help me pull in the guy. But I don't think that that's what you were looking for. So I wanted to know, what were some of the qualities you were looking for when you selected this person to be your girlfriend?
Tell us what you're looking for.
I don't know if you remember, but in one of the classes we had when you were our mentors and you were teaching the young people, you told us to write down, you know, the qualities of the person you want to marry one day or be like one day, right? Or be with one day.
Yeah.
So I took that seriously and I wrote it down.
Good.
And some of those things that were on the list were, kindness, loyalty, family, loving, caring. So I wanted someone whose spirit was just good, right? And that's an intangible.
It is.
Continue.
Yeah, it's an intangible. And I realized after writing all of that down, I realized I had to become like that.
Yes.
You, the person you're looking for, is looking for.
Yes.
I mean, you can ask all day, but if you're asking for so much, you've also got to be
That's right.
put together as well.
That's right.
Absolutely.
So after writing down all the things I was looking for, I started working to become like that list. And, over time, it was like a filter. Right?
Yes. You hitting it. Yes.
It was a filter. It became very easy to see who wasn't serious.
Yes.
So some of the things you mentioned in the beginning could actually be red flags for the person that you're looking for.
Absolutely.
Trying to put on a face that isn't yours, trying to put on a character that isn't yours.
Absolutely.
Can actually work against you.
Absolutely.
Right? You've got to actually become like the person you want to one day end up with, and then that will, attract that person.
That is excellent.
Yeah.
Because and why that's excellent is because I speak to women a lot, and they don't think they're supposed to do any work. They think that I'm perfect. All I need to do is work on my exterior. They don't do the inner work, which is why I brought up the point where you did a lot of inner work, and it's painful. It's not easy because you're denying yourself a lot of things. So thank you for sharing that. Thank you. And that makes me so proud.
Yes.
I
am proud of you, sir.
Thank you.
Great job.
Great job. So we just want to thank you again for just being our guest. We know we're going to see you. You're going to be on the panel for the Kingdom, for Kingdom Culture at the end of this month. That is June 30th and July 1st. Yeah. So we just
Thank you.
want to thank you.
I think for me, before you
Yes,
go,
please.
I still need to give you a plug-in for like people watching online that still need to, especially for maybe young students. I don't know what to do with my life. I don't know where to start. For 1 minute, what's your word of encouragement to them? Just to, especially like this Father's Day, they need some kind of guidance. 1 minute.
Yes. I'm a huge believer that everyone was brought on earth with a piece of the puzzle. So there's a unique perspective and a unique opportunity that maybe only you see. And it could be a tendency you have. When I was younger, I was very creative. But I was also a helper. I wanted to be the person that you could trust to build, anything that you're working on. So I started filtering out, okay, where does my natural tendency, what fields can I apply that and feel fulfilled? So, it really does take a lot of introspection, and you've got to quiet out the outside noise. Don't become who your parents want you to be. Don't become who your friends or who even your mentor wants you to be, right? It should be a personal choice between you and God.
Yes.
Ask God, why was I brought here? What was my purpose? And sometimes when you have the right question, it'll be easier to find the right answer. So I was asking the right question about myself, and over time, if you pay attention, you start to understand, okay, this is what I'm supposed to be doing.
Well said. Amazing.
Well said.
Amazing
Excellent.
job.
Please make sure.
Where is it at? Amazon?
It's on all platforms.
Yes.
It's on Amazon.
Yes.
It's also on my website.
Please, what's your website?
It's bioofficial.com. That's
Bioofficial.
BAYO official.com.
Okay, awesome. Bioofficial.com, but it's also on Amazon. They can go on Amazon.
It's on Amazon.
Amazon Life Lessons Volume 1, 47 Tips to Transcend Your Education.
And it's in our bookstore downstairs, right?
Oh, it's
Yes,
in
it's
the
gonna
bookstore
be in the
downstairs. That is
Yes.
awesome. Thank you. So we have to go. We're already praying. Happy Father's Day again. Let us know where you're watching from.
Yes.
Share, like, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Yes? We're about to go down to the service. Enjoy, please, women, wives, take your husbands out to do something. I'm speaking for myself. In any case, we're about to go down to the service, all right? Get in a good frame, mindset. Let the Holy Ghost bless you. Let the Holy Spirit bless you. I'm so sorry.
You're silly.
All right, I gotta sign out. Once again, my name is Moses.
I'm Tariba.
Yo,
You wanna check on?
on.